guys, welcome back to Models and Beer, and this is going to be part 5 of our AMT Groove. It's the final part. We are on the last stretch of instructions here, and basically it's just going to be putting body parts on. Let me get the sheet here and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Here we go. Basically we're just going to be putting these body parts together, the fenders, the body itself, and we got some front end stuff going in here, and the tires, which we've already got put on. And yeah, so here's where we're at right now. Like I said, I jumped ahead and put the tires on already. You didn't miss anything with that. It was simply just gluing them to the axles. That's all we did. I thought I was filming when I did that, and I realized after it was all done that I did not have play push. So there we have it. Guys, so far this is where we are at, and you know, even if we stopped right here and, you know, put the stacks onto the carburetor and put the exhaust in, that'd be a kind of a cool little kit, just as it is right there, right? But we're going to go ahead and complete it up as the Groove Boss. We're going to try to get this body on there, and then we're going to get, after the body's put on, we're going to get our carburetor stacks put in and our exhaust. We held off on that simply because I didn't want to knock those parts off as we're putting the body together, because this piece here has to go over top, and there wasn't a solid foundation for these carburetor stacks. They just kind of got glued into like a dimple, so we're going to wait till the end to put that on. So guys, let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's finish this build up, and then we'll do a little discussion at the end on, you know, what I think of the build, and is it really as bad as everybody says it is? And we'll recap the, you know, the problems that we did have as we were building through. So guys, stick around. We will be right back. Thanks for joining me. All right, guys, let me stop right here just for a moment. I just did a test fit of the body over top of the frame and everything here. And if you remember back in, I don't remember if it was in part 1 of this build or part 2, but when we dropped our motor in, it was just a little bit too far forward, and we had to actually take out a little bit of this body work here, so we're able to get our exhaust in later, because you can actually kind of see that the motor's sitting a little bit forward. You can see there's a little bit of space behind there. And now what's happening is with this body, it'll drop down and fit, but the problem is trying to get the stacks through here because the motor's a little bit too far forward, if that makes any sense to you. So what I'm thinking about doing is, because of these roll bars here, they fit right up tight to this part here. I'm thinking if I can cut these back just a little bit, that I can move the body forwards enough, we might be able to get the stacks through this hole here in the body where they're supposed to go. So let's try that. Let me just take out a little bit of material off of each end here. We'll try to drop that back onto the body and push it forwards a little bit and see if we can't get that motor to clear where it needs to be. So guys, we'll be right back. All right, that seemed to have worked. Like I said, I cut back a little bit out of this body so I could push it forwards a hair, and it seems as though I can see all the ports now for the stacks. And so let's go ahead and get our stacks in. Let's get our exhaust put in, and then we'll get some decals on this thing, and we're going to call it complete. So be right back. Alright guys, there you have it, the AMT Groove Boss. We have completed it. Let's just run over really quick some of the difficulties that I had when I did to fix them. And let me start off by saying that we were wondering, is the AMT Groove Boss a bad kit? And I'm going to say no and yes. No, in the sense that everything fit together nicely. It really did. The problem, I think, with this kit is the instructions. They are not clear enough, and I think the number one mistake that is made with the Groove Boss is with the engine. It really has no landing point for that engine when you're putting it together. And let me just get this out of the way, guys. Let's run through the instruction sheet really quick, and then we'll address these as we go along. So if we started off with the engine, I'm going to highly recommend that you hold off on putting in these carburetor stacks until after you got your body and everything put together. Make that one of your last steps. They sit simply into little dimples on the manifold here, and there's nothing that really grabs tight on those, and a simple knock will break those loose. So as you're trying to put that body on, you're going to be knocking those things off. So hold off on putting your carburetor stacks into the last. Okay, that's the first tip I'm going to give you on that. The wheels, no problems at all. It's simple. 3 pieces to each wheel. You got your rim, you got your back piece that locks in to the tire, and it slides right onto the axle. And you glue them onto the axles per instruction. They do not rotate or roll. Then we went into part 3, the chassis. Now guys, here's where I think a lot of the problems fall. This piece here, okay, the firewall, your transmission goes through this hole. Now this hole is not big enough to fit the transmission. So yes, in that part the kit has a little bit of a flaw, but it's an easy fix. You just remount this hole a little bit and that transmission slides right through. So it's not that big of a deal. You can use your X-Acto blade or whatever you want to carve that out. It's very little needs to be come out of there. And then what else did we run into here? So when you're putting your engine in, guys, when you're dropping it in, I'm going to recommend that you put your body over top of your frame before you drop your motor in. Make sure that that motor is directly under the hole for your on your body. So set this down over your frame before you glue this motor in, and make sure that it lines up. And with these exhaust ports too on the sides of the body, here, if your motor's too far forwards, you're not going to be able to get your exhaust in to where it needs to be. So this motor needs to be back, and the best way to do that, guys, is make sure you're lining up with your ports here. I think if you line your exhaust up, you should be fine with your body going on top, but I would make sure both of those line up before you glue that motor in. Once you do that, guys, you're not going to have any issues with the rest of this build. Everything goes together beautifully. I had no problems after, well, I had problems because I glued my motor in ahead of time, and it was not in the right location. I could have broke it out of there, but it would have been too much trouble because there would have been a lot of pieces that I would have had to repair and everything, so I really didn't want to spend that kind of time on it. Yeah, so other than that, guys, everything went together well. It really did. I'm not going to say, again, I'm not going to say this is a terrible kit, because it's not. The instructions leave a little bit to be desired, and I think that's where a lot of the problems are. So if you follow my tips as far as making sure your motor is where it needs to be in your body, make sure that your exhaust lines up with the holes before you glue that motor in, and drop the body part down on top of that motor, make sure that it lines up also. And like I said, once you do that, you'll have no situations. So guys, I appreciate everybody that followed the Groove Boss build with me. And we're going to go ahead and put some pictures in at the end of this video here, and you can get a better look at the finished model. And guys, stick around. We got some good stuff coming up in the future. I got a new kit that I'm going to be showing you. It is a model, or a ship model, I should say. It's not a car. But if you're into that kind of thing, stick around. I got a nice little surprise. It's going to be a cool build. And I will see everybody on the next video. Guys, take care. Bye-bye.